So to make our stationery boxes, you are going to need 110-pound cardstock. I have all of them laid out here. You're going to start with 4 of the 6 1/8 by 5 1/8. And this is going to be for the cover of your box. You're going to need 2 spines. The first spine is going to be at 4 inches by 6 1/8. Then you'll need a top spine that's an inch shorter at 3 6 1/8. You're going to need 2 box bottoms that are 6 by 8. The back pocket is going to be 7 by 5 1/2. The front pocket is going to be 5 by 8. And then this is the box lid, which measures 9 1/16 by 8 1/16. And we'll go over the scoring as we're putting the box together. But get your 110-pound cardstock cut out. I have the measurements listed for the pattern paper. I do recommend you cut the pattern paper before, because we have to apply the pattern paper to the front and back pockets and just a couple areas as we're going along. I found it to be a little easier this way. Also grab your scoring board. You will definitely need a scoring board. Obviously, you're going to use your paper trimmer, scissors, and I used both liquid adhesive and I use art glitter glue. And you're also going to need, I used red line tape for a lot of it. It's my go-to adhesive for making anything like this. But get all these cut out and check back with me. To make the stationery box shell, you're going to need the 4 covers and then the 2 spines pieces. Now you can set both the covers and the smaller spine piece off to the side, and we're just going to work with this one right here. What you're going to want to do is put this one, which is the 4 by 6 1/8, inside your scoring board, and you're going to want to score at 1/2 inch and then 3 1/2 inch. Once those are scored, make sure you give them a good crease, and we're going to taper our edges like you see here. Okay, oops, it's upside down, sorry. Once you have a nice crease on there, we're going to apply our red line tape. I got this giant roll, which was 180 feet at a scrapbooking convention in Syracuse, New York. Okay, I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna take this off, and then I'm gonna add some liquid adhesive to this side as well. Grab that second cover and apply. Now, don't worry if it's not perfect. You can go through So you should have this at this point, starting to look like a book. Now we're gonna set this aside and we're gonna start with the pockets for the left side. So you are going, these two for the pockets for the left-hand side of your book. The back pocket we'll start with, and that is 7 by 5.5 inches. You are going to want to grab your scoring board and score on the 7-inch side at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 6 inches, and then 6.5 inches. Okay, you're gonna flip it a 1/4 turn. Sorry, this is the way that I did it, and do it again at 4.5 and 5.5. You could do it the other way and just do 1 and 2, or I'm sorry, 1/2 and 1. My fault. All right, so you're gonna have 4 squares at the bottom, and you're gonna want to cut out the 3 on each corner that I have X'd out. And you'll have something that looks like this. But you're gonna wanna do one more cut, and you're just gonna cut it like that, right up to that second score line, so that this happens. And then I took the time to take off the corners, just so it makes it lay a little neater. And you're gonna do the exact same thing to this side right here. And you can also do it to the top box on either side up here. So when you're done, you have something that looks like this. Okay? Now you're going to want to do the exact same thing. Give it a nice crease. So I have my pattern paper on here, and I'm just going to reapply some glue to these corners here because I accidentally started to put the box together just a tad too early. I'm going to fold this over, and this, if you've never used the art glitter glue, it's a really good adhesive. It dries really quickly. So just apply your glue. And then get ready. I want to center it a little bit. Hopefully get it on there straight. Don't have the same problems that I did because I got a little sloppy. And then you're just gonna go inside, really secure those corner edges with your bone folder or your scissors, whatever you have. But this is where I put the envelopes. And now we're gonna work on our second pocket, which is the front pocket. You're gonna do it the exact same way. You're gonna cut the, so now we're gonna work on that front pocket. You're gonna need a 5x8 piece of 110-pound cardstock, put it on the scoring board at 4.5, or on the 5-inch side, and score at 3.5 and 4.5. Then you're gonna flip the 1/4 turn and do the 8-inch side, where you're gonna score at 1/2 inch, 1.5, 6.5, and 7.5. You're gonna cut the 3 bottom corners out just like you did on the last piece. This all goes together the same way. It's just that this side, this front pocket is 1 inch thick, whereas the other one is only a 1/2 inch. The reason that I gave it the extra 1/2 inch is because this is the pocket that I put my cards in that were naturally a lot thicker than the envelopes. So come on back. I'm gonna put my my pattern paper on once again, and then we're gonna finish the left side of the box. Now I'm back, and I have my front pocket covered with pattern paper, and once again I used the 3 panels in the middle and then the lower panel, and then I put tape on all of the outside panels. And once again, you're just gonna start peeling. To apply the box right on top. You're just gonna want to kind of make sure everything is solid. That's it. Okay, we've got the right side of our box, or the left side of our box completed. Now, turn your attention to the 2 box bottoms that we have, and once again, I am just going to put together these boxes real quickly for you. Very simply, you need 2 6x8 pieces of 110 pound cardstock, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch on all sides. Just your typical box, right? And then cut to the score line on 2 sides, and then I like to taper my corners once again so that the box just fits nicely inside one another and there's no glaring edges. Okay, and once again, I'm gonna apply my pattern paper and then come back and we'll put the boxes together. So I'm back with the box bottoms. I've put my pattern paper on here. I left these strips off so that when we put the actual box together, we can just glue those right on top and it'll cover these little tabs. And then if you see the flip side, I just have my red line tape on all 4 corners, and we're just gonna peel that red line tape and put our boxes together. What you should have. And they're gonna go right here on this. Now I'm also gonna take a bit of red line tape and I'm gonna use it to apply the boxes to the bottom. So I'm just gonna run a couple strips. a little to adhere the boxes together as well. So we've got the boxes in. Now we just have to create the top cover for the box. So for the box lid, we are going to need a 9 1/16 inch by 8 1/16 inch piece of 110 pound cardstock, and you're going to once again score at 1.5 inches on all sides. Okay, doing the same thing you did, tapering those end pieces. And if you're wondering where the 16th mark is, we're just making this slightly bigger than the box itself. So it's literally just the one notch past that full inch mark. So you are definitely going to want to have your pattern paper for this part. Now I used this for mine, and I'm actually wanting to cut, I'm gonna die cut. So I'm gonna die cut mine so that I have this really cute thing in the center so you can peer inside the box. And I'm gonna have an acrylic layer as well so that nothing falls out. I am not going to glue this yet. I'm just gonna take a piece of washi tape and stick it to my paper while I run it through my Sizzix. I don't want to glue it quite yet because I'm going to put the acrylic layer underneath. Now, all I'm doing here is lining up, make sure that's secure there, and then I'm also gonna do just a little tiny piece over here. Just make sure it's nice and secure. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing with this die. I don't want the die to slip and have it be wonky at the last minute, so I'm just gonna give it that little bit of extra security. Now my Sizzix is just the regular Sizzix. So when I run this through, I'm gonna bring this up like this so that it will have room on the plate to go through. Just carefully take the tape off. I am going to apply, I think I'm gonna make this my top. So I'm gonna make sure that I get my liquid glue out and just give that acrylic a nice secure base. Now I'm gonna gently place my acrylic sheet on top, make sure it's nice and centered, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing to my pattern paper. Okay, now you're just gonna add these pieces on the side. Now I am going to apply all 4 of these right now because I'm actually gonna put the tabs on the inside, and I'm not, I mean, you can feel free to cover the inside. I just wanna make sure that my box fits nicely before I go about doing any extras. And frankly, getting this video finished because they cause me stress. I mean, it's fun, but it's stressful. It all fits. You just never know sometimes. Boom. Nice and secure. You can go ahead and add your covers now. And for some strange reason, I forgot to put my paper in for the back, so I'm just gonna slide it in here, and I just caught it. Silly, silly, silly. All right, to finish the book, I created a strap, and I'm doing a magnetic closure for it. Now, I have a tendency to not really overthink when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I just happen to have, this is a 2-inch strip from my scraps. I am going to use this as my strip, and then I took 2 pieces of pattern paper. One's going to be for the inside and one's going to be for the outside. Once again, these are scraps. You don't need a whole lot, so I am just going to first apply my magnets. So I'm gonna apply my pattern paper to the inside. Now I know that this pattern paper is longer than my strap. Doesn't matter to me though, because you're not even gonna see most of the strap. It's gonna be hidden underneath the paper for the back of your book. Magnet for the front, it's gonna go like that right here, and then I am just going to flip it like this. Give myself a little measure here, make sure everything's gonna fit. I like to keep mine kind of loose just in case. Yep, everything's gonna fit. Now I'm gonna put my other piece of pattern paper on the opposite side. Little press. Now I've already got my magnet here, so I'm just going to apply a little more glue. Boom, there we go. Now I just have to add my spine, which I think I am going to use this. All right, so I have the front cover finished. The box is basically complete. Now, keep in mind, I created the measurements for this box knowing that my project was going to be pretty clean and simple. I am going to do a more shabby version of it, but I probably won't be able to get it done until probably next weekend, I'm thinking. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about the project before you start cutting. If I was doing a shabby project, I would probably add about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch more to the spine to accommodate just for the layering that I like to use on a shabby project. But when it's clean and simple, I just kept the measurements tight and everything fits beautifully together. So once again, the strap is magnetic. So pull this open, and I used just some cutouts from the collection. I did die cut a glitter snowflake and just this cute little fox, just some of the puffy stickers, and just a doily segment that I had in my stash. So you flip it open, and inside to the left, first compartment, I used for my cards. Now with this project, one of the requirements of the swap is going to be 5 cards. Whether they're the same or completely different is up to you. I did make mine a little different. They're typical A2 cards that measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I did this one. This is another one that I had created. This one. There's a Let It Snow one. And then there's this Be Bright. And all of these were just created from die cuts from the collection. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this is Crepe Paper Snow and Cocoa. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's one of my faves. And for the swap as well, you're going to need to complete 5 envelopes, which I did in this back pocket here. The spine I covered in this cute little reindeer paper. Once again, this measurement is tight. You're not really going to be able to put too much on the spine. You can adjust by widening the book by 1/2 inch or so. It's completely up to you. To this side, you take this off. And once again, there's 2 compartments. Swap requirements are going to be 3 tags as well. I made mine these cute mason jar tags. And these 2 here. And then you've got a bonus box. I just added, for the sake of the video, some die cuts from the collection, but you could use this to provide your partner with some embellishments, some goodies, chocolate, coffee, whatever you would like. But that's it. That's the end of my project. It's super easy. I hope to you give it a try, and I can't wait to see what you create. Like I said, check back. I'm going to have another version of this in a more shabby chic, and I think I'm going to do a little more traditional color scheme on the next one as well. But thank you for watching, and hope you head on over to Loaded Envelopes Galore and More on Facebook, and check out what the team there has been doing. Bye!